I don't think that you can really compare the two. In schools, if a course is good, really good, then students will learn well, they'll learn their language well. If a distance learning course is good, well prepared, well managed, the students will learn their language well. So it really depends on the quality of the teaching in one and the organisation of the other, and whether they both meet the needs of the learners. In schools, often language teaching doesn't meet the needs of the learners because they're pressured into being inside the school and it's organised without their input. Same can happen with distance learning, but if it's organised for their needs, then a distance learning course is appropriate. The problem with a distance learning course is that often the tutor, it is not tutored in as clear a way as school learning. So both have to be well structured, geared to the needs of the learner, and with support from a tutor or some feedback from the distance learning organisation.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Well, both. Well, they can both work if you combine them well, and if you keep the balance. Well, of course, online language teaching does not work alone if it is not supported by classroom application, classroom teaching, because the core one is classroom teaching, of course. Yes. That's why we have blended learning.
Okay, so you think that without the support of a teacher who organizes face-to-face meetings, blended learning wouldn't have the same effect, or would,
well,
if it hadn't
that's why we call it blended learning.
Yes,
I mean,
exactly.
That's why we have classroom part and the online part. Without classroom teaching, that wouldn't work. No, of course.
Can you imagine any disadvantages of online courses compared to blended learning courses?
Disadvantages of online.
Yes, only online.
Only online.
Yes.
Well, then if you have online course by itself without support of classroom teaching, then the students are left alone, and when they have problems, when they need support, so what are you gonna do then? It doesn't work. It doesn't work. No.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Well, on one hand, I think we always think that the technology change or that the advance in new technology changes the whole education. I don't agree on that. We just get new tools, and before we had paper and now we have screens. But basically we'll do more or less the same thing. So I don't think it changes too much. What will change is that the content before was controlled mainly by textbook editors, and it will become more and more the students who will put material online and other students can access these materials. But basically this is already done within the classroom. In many classes, the students, they do student works, they do expositions. The only thing is that the classroom is closed. And it is the social network of the internet or web-based networks which make communications better and interchange with other students from other countries. But it is wrong to think that new technologies will change the whole way of how we are studying.
I think the most important thing is to make language learning authentic. In other words, we've argued for many years about whether we should teach language using this method or that method, and we worry about the grammar and the technical things that teachers are interested in. Students are not interested in this. They're interested in real language and real people, so they want to see video of real people speaking the foreign language. They want to go to the country. They should have people coming into the classroom who actually speak the foreign language, so we can make a connection between the language, which seems like a difficult subject to learn, like chemistry, but we should make a connection between the language and real people to create a need and a motivation. One of the big problems of language teaching, and therefore language learning, is that students are not motivated, or if they're motivated, they don't see the application of their language. So what we've tried to do in English language teaching, especially in the last few years, is to make it more authentic, to use newspaper articles, to use videos, to use the web, to use social media like Facebook, and now using Twitter as well, to try to connect language and language learning to something real that the students are interested in. We have a very new, technologically media-rich generation coming through our schools and homes now, who are not really as focused on the dry and dusty cognitive learning of grammar books and learning lists of vocabulary. They want to see some authenticity. So the challenge for teachers is to bring that into the classroom using as many technologies and different kinds of approaches as possible, and to take the students' learning out of the classroom. One of the things the British Council is involved in is setting up exchanges between schools and students in different parts of the world, a program called Connecting Classrooms, so that British kids and Romanian kids or Italian kids will be put together in connection. So they'll send emails to each other, they will do projects together, the teachers will go and visit each other's schools. We've got to make it real and create a need, a motivation, a real application of the language, not just the cognitive learning, the hard study of the language.
Este o întrebare foarte bună și este o legătură foarte importantă. Plurilingvism înseamnă că o persoană să vorbească, să fie capabil să vorbească mai multe limbi. Să vorbești mai multe limbi te ajută să te familiarizezi cu cetățenii din jurul tău din alte țări, să te familiarizezi cu obiceiurile, cultura, civilizația lor, ceea ce este extrem de important. În Academia Navală noi avem studenți care, prin natura meseriei, urmează să colinde lumea. Dacă nu sunt în stare să vorbească mai multe limbi, meseria lor este pe jumătate, cel puțin pe jumătate pierdută. Și cred că este extrem de important.
I don't think it's a question of one or the other. I think it's very useful that English, for example, is being used as a lingua franca, which means that practical contacts between people are facilitated by that. But on the other hand, if you think of a lingua franca replacing other languages, you're going to steal people's identities. Identity is very much linked to what people feel about it, what people feel about their language. And I think if we're trying to get real social cohesion, what we've got to get is to get acceptance of diversity. The possibility, I talked in one of my talks about people having a linguistic repertoire where they use quite a lot of languages at different times for different reasons in their lives. And if we can find ways where lots of people do this and they meet at different parts of their own repertoire, then we can get a social cohesion which is based on acceptance of diversity rather than a social cohesion which is based on stereotypes and everyone being the same.